video 3 of your Confident Communications course, and this is the last training video of this series. So I hope you're already feeling as though you've got some more strategies and a bit of a safety net when it comes to having better conversations. And by better conversations, I mean conversations that are going to yield you the outcome that you're looking for. So this video, I'm going to talk about big picture versus little picture and a few other really awesome things that will help make your communication even better. So big picture versus little picture is the way people focus their information. So again, coming back to an extended disc profile or a psychometric profile, you will have people who are really big picture. They are your I's and your D's. And then you've got people who are little picture, who are your S's and your C's. So what I mean by this is when people are talking, so for instance, I had a friend in corporate, I love her dearly, but she had a reconstructed shoulder. And she is incredibly intelligent, super smart. And she would go into minute detail about what they did to her shoulder. Now me, I've had a knee reconstruction, gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't love talking about medical stuff, about chopping this and stitching that. So she would go into immense detail and I was like, oh. But also I was kind of like, okay, what's the point, right? So I'm obviously big picture. But where I see this happen a lot is where you've got bosses and staff, and the boss is very big picture, very high level. They're like, just go and get on with it, do what you need to do, as long as you get the outcome, I don't care. Whereas employees, like I was an employee for a long time, we are taught to look at every single detail and make sure we're doing it the right way. So for it to be done the right way, we need each and every step, we need the detail, and we need to do it exactly to the plan. So where that creates miscommunication is you've got a staff member who's like, oh, I'm unsure about how to go about this. And then you've got the boss that's like, I don't care, just get it done. But then the staff member's like, but if I do it a way you don't like, then I'm going to get in trouble. And so the story goes. That is a very general statement. Some bosses love to micromanage. And a lot of clients I've worked with have actually had really big problems employing staff because they like things done a very particular way. So let's talk about firstly the boss that if you're, stop this video, work out, are you big picture or little picture? On the balance of probability. You might have some things where you're more of the other thing, but what excites you? Like, are you someone that likes to think about the strategic vision and you like to dream and plan and you love that sort of big high level? Or are you someone that can sit in an Excel spreadsheet for hours, right? I kind of sit smack bang in the middle. I think most business owners do because you've got to have both. But for people, just have a think about which one you prefer. When you've got a boss who loves really minute detail, they will often have a problem letting go and they will often micromanage, okay? They'll want to know exactly what's going on. They'll helicopter, they'll see it, they'll review it because they're very pedantic about the way it gets done. When you are working for somebody like that, it's very important that you have transparency and that you listen to them, and when you communicate with them, that you ask them lots of questions. I would also be inclined, say they give you something to do and you have to go away and do it, I would be documenting how you're going to do it or thinking about it, and then I would go back to them before I did it, because that's going to waste my time. I would go back to them and I'd say, hey, just want to run by you the approach that I'm going to take with this. Get their sign off, then go and start. Because if you start and then they're not happy with it, that's going to create time wasting. They're not going to like that. You're not going to like that. So it's in everyone's best interest, win-win outcome, for you to be really strategic up front about the way you communicate that. Go through the process, go through the detail, sign it off with them, then go and do it. For the boss that's big picture, they are the ones that, and this is me, this is what I'm going to say. I need you to go and do this. I need you to go and, go through this list of people, and I need you to just call them and make sure that they're all good for the workshop on the weekend. Cool? Great. And then I'm not going to think about it again. I've handballed it to you. You're going to pick up the ball and you're going to run with it. In that situation, a staff member is probably a new or uncertain staff member is probably going to come to me and go, sorry, I want to know how you want me to document this. Anyone that's not right, where do I find that information? And I'm going to go, oh my God, I just want you to do the work. That's when I'm going to get snappy. which is not fair on my part. So that's my piece to communicate more clearly and more effectively. So in that scenario, if that's the sort of person that you work with or for, or you're like that as a boss, appreciate that. Go to them and say, like, with all your questions at once. Don't go to them with one question and then go back to them with another and another and another. That will really irritate them. Go through the whole process in your mind of A to B, then, and the outcome that they want you to get. Write down all your questions. If there is somebody else in the organization that you can go to ask all those questions of, go to them first. If they can't answer them, then go to your boss. But you want to hit them with all of the questions. Keep in mind, big picture, little picture also works for email correspondence. Someone that's a big picture, they're not going to want a whole detailed email. They are going to read the first line, they're going to read the last line. So make it really, really concise. Any additional material put in as attachments. They will choose to read it or they won't. You've given them the information, it's out of your hands. Someone who's really detailed, write them an essay of an email, put in all the detail, they will love it, they'll eat it up, then they can make an informed decision and come back to you. That is where I've seen much miscommunication in corporate environments. Start with what you are. So if you haven't stopped, do the workbook. Are you big picture? Are you little picture? And then how do you communicate with the opposite? Because little picture, they will talk about details for hours. Big picture, they will just go, yep, awesome, and then they'll go. This also plays out in meetings. So for instance, big picture, when I was running meetings, I would have to actually time the amount of time we could sit and do small talk. Hey, how's the weather? Hey, how's your weekend? Hey, what happened here? I had to time it. Because for me in a meeting, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to go, right, where are you at? Right, where you're at? Right, where you're at? Where are we going? Excellent. Steps forward, you do that, go. Very cut, da. I found a lot of my staff, because they were small pictures, didn't like it. So I had to stop myself. I had to go, okay, time 5 minutes. Let's do the small talk thing. Forced myself to be part of it. And then, right, let's get down to business. And I would pre-frame it like that. So pre-framing is also really important. If you're the sledgehammer, if you're the big picture person, pre-framing, right, I don't have a lot of time. Let's just get what you need so we can move on. That helps somebody go, okay, I can see where they're going here. That communication up front. So I want you to pause this and I want you to work out how to communicate better. Go and do the questions in the workbook. Really important for you to understand. Firstly, are you more excited by big picture or little picture? How does that play out communicating with the opposite? And what could you do to improve that communication? When it comes to confident communication, the biggest thing to ask yourself is, what do you fear? What are you afraid of? Because it's those fears and what you're afraid of that play on your mind, which then stop you being confident. If you know something and you know what you have to do, you'll just go and do it. If there's some unknown or something that's going to blindside you, or you're a little bit hesitant, work out what worst case scenario is, project it, and then go, okay, what do I need to do to minimize that? People like to know and be prepared. People don't typically like to be blindsided. So the more you can do up front to mitigate a response that's going to create that fear that you have, the better. So again, pause this and really have a good look at what it is that you fear. Before you do it, I'll just give you the example of when I was, again, consulting to a big organization. My fear was, I had a boss, her name was Jen. She was, I loved her actually. We really got along really well, but she was so direct and she was a sledgehammer and I was very, very green. And my fear was that she was going to yell at me or belittle me, which she had done. And I would do anything I could to avoid that. I'm also recovering people pleaser. So as a recovering people pleaser, I was really afraid I was going to disappoint her, or I was going to let her down, or I was going to jeopardize the project or cost the project more money. So I would do everything I could to avoid that happening. And as such, I would have to be really strategic in my communication because she was big picture. So she'd just let me go. And then luckily it was a big organization. So I had people I could go to say, hey, can you give me some help with this? Because I didn't want to go to her directly. But my fears there were actually a real hindrance to, firstly, my self-respect, and secondly, to me getting from her. Because a few times I went to other people, they instructed me differently, and then she was like, why did you do it like that? So that did not help me back myself. That didn't help me grow my confidence, because I was also trying to seek her praise. So stop this, go through those questions and work out what's important to you with that. Okay, 2 more little strategies which are really, really important. And this is from a business owner perspective. If you're having sales conversations and you're managing staff, or you're, really working closely with clients, and your communication needs to be on point, I really want you to know 2 things that are invaluable. Firstly, power of the pause. We live in a society where we are bombarded, whether it's social media, whether it's TV, whatever it is, out and about. We are constantly listening to things. We are constantly gaining information, gaining knowledge, being spoken to, engaging. So silence is golden. So if someone says something to you and you sort of go, whoa, hang on, say nothing. If you don't know how to respond, or you need a second to process, and again, prefrontal cortex, fight or flight, just take a second. No one's going to begrudge you that. It might get awkward. If it gets awkward, let it go still. Just see what happens. Just play with this. And if you're not happy to do that in a work context, go home, try it at home. Let it go. Just let that tension build and that silence, and do not be the first one to break it. That's the game here. Just sit in it. Because the funniest thing will happen. They will give you more information. They will get uncomfortable. They'll break it first. The worst thing that they'll say is, are you there? If you're on the phone, or did you hear me? And you can go, I heard you, but could you say that again? And they'll go, yeah, sure. So the worst thing that's going to happen is that, okay? But I just want in life for you to just be going about your business and have someone say something to you, and you just sit with it and just see what happens. They will elaborate, they will talk, they will chase their tail, because silence is uncomfortable. And there is so much power in that. If in doubt, say nothing. And just experiment with it. This exercise in this workbook is actually for you to go and do this. So you might want to finish this video and then go and do it later in life and just reflect on how it works out. But I promise you, it'll be amazing to watch, okay? So just try it, play with it, have some fun with it. The other strategy for getting out of something where you feel a bit blindsided is repetition. So if someone goes, hey, I saw all the work that you did on that and I'm not happy with it and I just need to address it with you, you just say, address it with me. Again, I'll put inflection at the end. It's a question. You simply repeat the last 3 words that they've said. Hey, I'm just not sure I'm comfortable with that. I don't know why you did it that way. Did it that way? And they'll go, yeah, did it that way. Blah, 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 and they will elaborate even further. It buys you time. The more time you can get, and by time, when we're in, I want you to think about the gym. If you go to the gym or you do any physical activity, how long does a minute feel when you're planking? It's the longest minute of your life. When you're sitting at your desk typing an email, how long is a minute? It flies. I remember one day looking at my time and it went like an hour. It was like 2:10 and then 3:10 and then it was 4:10. I was like, oh my God, stop. So when you're panicking, when you're feeling uncertain, or when you're unsure of what is going on, or the outcome somebody else is looking for, the fear is often from uncertainty. Buy yourself time. Time is perception. So when you buy yourself time, to them, it's just going to be a second or 2. It's nothing. For you, it's going to feel a lot longer. But that length of time is enough for you to gather your thoughts, get that prefrontal cortex back online and go, oh, hey, right, here's where I need to go with that. So either pause, go and do that, go have fun with that, or repeat it, go and do that too. Just see what happens, see how it works. So I had a client who was really unhappy with me. I was actually coaching one of his sales staff. It wasn't going well. And he was like, well, I've paid for this, so what are you doing about it? And I went, what am I doing about it? And he was like, yeah, what are you doing about it? So we've got this program and you've said that you're going to get him up to speed and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yes, get him up to speed. It was one of my very first clients. I was panicking. I felt terrible. So What am I doing about it? Yeah, what are you doing about it? You know, he's not improving. He's not improving? No, look at his stats. Oh, right, yes, okay, his stats. So, this is what I can do. You just need to buy yourself some time. So pause. Don't pause this video because you're going to go and do this after you watch this last little bit. The last thing I'll say on confident communication is the more fun you can have, the better. Because when we're having fun, the mirror neurons in our brain act differently. We come across as lighter. We can laugh at ourselves, which means other people can laugh with us. It lightens the mood. So I am definitely one that gets very, very serious. Just ask Damien. I get very serious. I take things very seriously. And it's no fun for anyone, including me. So having these really crucial conversations and these quite heavy, tense conversations, the important thing to remember is that at the end of the day, the worst thing that's going to happen is a yucky feeling. I literally have a friend in the media right now. It's rife that he's being sued. He's got a lawyer involved. It's nasty. People are being horrible to him. The worst thing he's going to have to deal with is a feeling. And that's the same for you. So devise what outcome you're looking for. What isn't happening right now that you want to happen that's going to get you to where you want to be? What do you want? What's not working? We've done all this work in the workbooks, or should have been done. Then work out what you need to change to make that happen and get those outcomes. What do you need to value? What do you need to believe? What do you need to think? What do you need to act on to get a better outcome? And then most importantly, how can you have some fun along the way? A girlfriend of mine said to me a long time ago, if you can laugh at yourself later, why not laugh at yourself now? And I think the more you can bring that laughter, lightness, the fun in, and the power posing in, the better you're going to feel, the better you're going to communicate, the better outcomes and results you're going to get. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me for Confident Communication. If you are wanting to take this to the next level or get really personalized help around your communication, I would love to hear from you. I'm not sure if I'm the fit for you, but if you want to know some more or you want to inquire, please reach out. Just send me an email. There's our contact details on the website or on Facebook, however it suits you. But I would love to have a really quick chat and see how I can help work with you to make you feel more confident and to get those better outcomes. You may be able to do it on your own. If you can, awesome. If you need a little help, reach out. We'll have that conversation. All right, enjoy those workbooks. Do the work, do the work, do the work. And we'll see you on the flip side. Bye.